Hello. Tonight we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite things, and that is Louis Vuitton. Specifically, Louis Vuitton pre-loved bags, how to clean them, how to disinfect them, how to get them where they need to be. Have to be really honest, this is something I have not done before, but I've done an awful lot of research on it. And when I look on YouTube or when I look online, it's difficult sometimes to see what is really kind of going on, what really they're using, and then sometimes people say to use something, but you don't really see a before and after. So I thought we'd try an experiment this evening. I think it's going to have to be a two-parter because what we're going to focus on this evening, I think, is the handles of this particular bag and trying to kind of restore them a little bit. So if you'll notice, it has patinaed very well in other sections of the bag, but if you can tell, this bag is really, the handles are really quite dark, and I think they need some love, and that's okay. That happens with pre-loved bags. And we're gonna try two different things that I've seen online. The first one is a simple solution of soap and water, and it said use gentle soap with a little bit of water. I did talk to my SA at Louis Vuitton, and she was in agreement that for what I was trying to do here, that water, just gentle soap and some water should be just fine. So I actually happened to go to Bath & Body Works for their Hello Yellow sale. So tonight we will be using, let's see, it's Gentle Foaming Hand Soap, and it's by Bath & Body Works. This happens to be Ocean Citrus. I don't think that it matters. We're going to do that. And then something else that I read it about vinegar. So we're going to try vinegar actually. And if you decide to try this yourself, they did call for 1 part vinegar to 10 parts of water. And this is the particular one that I'm using. It's just Walmart distilled vinegar, distilled white vinegar. And by the way, if you have never used this for disinfecting, it's a natural disinfectant. You can actually even use it for things like your clothes. When you wash your clothes, you can put a little bit of it in there, and it will actually it'll help kind of disinfect and freshen just about anything that you are concerned or worried about. So that's beside the point. But anyway, just a little side note there about vinegar. Now, I am not going to do this evening. I have tried this in the past. I feel pretty confident in saying that this would be an okay thing for you to use, but again, I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer on there. You're kind of on your own if you decide to try something. I'm trying this with a pre-loved bag, although I have done this with others. If you're trying to lighten up and kind of make new your brass pieces, metal polish, I happen to use this particular one. You can get it from Amazon. If you are very careful and you take one of these and you put just a little bit of it on the end, you can really gently, really carefully go around on the brass piece, being very careful not to get it on your actual pieces on your Vuitton. You can actually just take the lock off and work on it separately. But on this particular one, what I'm going to be working on is the zipper as well. You can tell it's kind of gotten a little green down in there. And I'm going to work on these pieces as well. I will not do that on camera. I'm going to be kind of working on them probably a little bit tomorrow. So just know I'll give you an update on that, something I've used before, not for our test this evening. So what we've got is a little bit of soap and water, and then in the next one we've got some vinegar and water. Now, to make the test fair, on this one handle I'm going to do the soap and water, and then on this handle I'm going to do the vinegar and water, and we'll compare tomorrow to see how they are, because I think we're going to have to let it dry, let it air out a little bit, and see what happens. So the next thing that I had read about that I think I'm a little too nervous to try tonight is one of those magic erasers. And I was looking at mine. This particular one is the Brillo brand, and it did say something like it's made with it has estracel in it, and I don't know what estracel is, so I don't know what reaction it would have with the bag. And since we're trying to keep it natural products, how we can do things at home, I'm a little too nervous with trying it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take just a couple of cotton balls for each, and we're going to start with the soap and water. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, let me show you here, I'm just going to kind of dab it in a little bit, get it wet, and then I'm going to kind of take the excess moisture out because I just kind of feel like we should. So I'm just going to wring it out a little bit, and there I think we've gotten a flattened cotton ball, and we're going to go ahead and give it a try. I'm going to hold this up so you can see that we're actually working on it, and I'm just going to start giving it a very light rubbing. I'm not getting too crazy with it, but just kind of going over it really lightly to see if we can get some of that up. And I can tell you already, if you can see that, we're getting some grime up off of the handle itself. So we're just going to kind of continue in this motion. Again, not rubbing too hard at all. We don't want to cause any issues and show our new Vuitton that they are unloved in this new household. We definitely want it to feel loved and cared for, and we don't want to have any issues at all. So as I'm doing this, I'm really noticing that it's bringing up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over to the other side and continue, and just continue on with our gentle loving of the handles here. And I'm going to continue to do some more of this offline, off the camera, for both of them, for both this side and the other side. But I do want to show you that it has indeed brought up quite a bit of grime off of that handle. Kind of freaks me out a little bit being OCD, but let's see. So between the two handles, I don't know that you can really see that there's a difference there, other than this one looks maybe a little drier than it did a minute ago. I'm going to flip it around, and we're going to try the same thing, but this time it's with the vinegar and water again. So this is the vinegar and water, and I've just kind of dunked it in. I'm going to try to drain some of the water out, and I'm going to begin the wipe along the handle. Now, again, not to press too hard, give it some gentle love. And it is also bringing up some. Doesn't look like it's bringing up in the amount that the soap and the water did, but it's definitely bringing it up. So let's see here. I can tell you the vinegar smells quite pungent, even at just 1 part to 10 parts of water, but it's bringing up very similar to the soap and water itself. Now when I look at them, they do look kind of similar, but I will tell you that the one that's the vinegar, which is this side, it doesn't look as dry to me as the one with the soap and water. So here's what I'm going to do for this particular exercise. I'm going to turn it back around so we'll know what side is what. This side is the soap and water. This side is the vinegar. What I'm going to do is to get a small piece of ribbon, and I'm going to tie it around the one that has the soap and water so we can kind of keep track of it. I'm going to finish up wiping these down. I'm going to go with 1 more cotton ball for each, and then I'm going to let it dry overnight, and I'll be back tomorrow so we can take a look at it and see how it did, and then we're going to talk about how to recondition it. So we'll see how it goes. See you very soon.